I am so excited to introduce you to the Spring 2023 Virtual Showcase speakers from the Big Talk Academy. Each one of these speakers went through the 12-week certification program, which culminated in the Virtual Showcase. I look forward to hearing what you think about their big talks. Enjoy. With a diverse background that encompasses practicing as a medical doctor, delivering motivational speeches, coaching high-performing executives and professionals, facilitating corporate training programs, neurotherapy, writing books, and course creation, Dr. Leonaura Rhodes is on a mission to help people increase their happiness, health, and abundance. Please welcome to the stage, everyone, Dr. Leonaura Rhodes with Embracing Mediocrity, Why Dabbling is Good for Your Brain.
We live in a world that glorifies accomplishment, performance, and hard work. From an early age in schools, we are taught that success is measured by the grades we earn, the accolades we receive, and the career path we choose. But this unbalanced pursuit of accomplishment and achievement is harming us all. And I'm here today to share with you an antidote to this stressful way of living. I was a curious child who loved to imagine, play, and have fun. I was an intrepid explorer in the woods, in the park, in the garden, but my favorite place of all was rock pools. I would spend my summers on the coast with my grandmother. With anticipation, I would turn over the rocks, push aside the seaweed to see what would be revealed. Would I discover a colorful starfish or a hermit crab that would scuttle away into its stolen shell? I was so engrossed in my own little world that the minutes would turn into hours and I would lose track of time. I would be startled out of my daydream by a grumbling tummy or shouts that dinner was ready. This curious child turned into a studious teen and adult who loved to learn and master things. And I entered the fields of medicine and later high-performance coaching, where excellence is expected. I worked insane hours. I pushed myself beyond my limits. And as with many high achievers, there was a cost. I rarely did anything for fun. I didn't know how to relax and be fully present. And I suffered for years from exhaustion, stress, anxiety, and depression. And at times, it took away my joy for life. Now, for all of you high achievers in the audience who are about to start arguing with me, excellence certainly has its place. In your education, in your career, in your relationships, in your health, work hard and have high standards. After all, you don't want your surgeon, your architect, or your electrician to be half-assing their job. You want them to be expert and diligent. And as the old saying goes, if you're going to do a job, do it well. But what I have come to learn over the years is that the pursuit, an obsession with achievement is harmful for the individual and for everyone around them. Everyone feels not quite good enough, never truly worthy or successful. And there is a constant striving for the things that will make you happy and feel peace. For the individual high achiever, they suffer from performance anxiety, imposter syndrome, and the hunt for the holy grail, the one thing that will finally make them content and fulfilled. This leads to workaholism, chronic stress, and burnout, which you will hear more about later in this showcase. In 2020, I was a results coach for a famous coaching company when I caught COVID pneumonia and nearly died. Despite severe breathing problems, reduced lung function, and terrible brain fog, I took off only 5 days because that's what high performers do, right? During my long recovery, I coached a pediatric transplant surgeon who was unhappy and unfulfilled in her job. One day, she came to the call with creative business ideas, but I told her, because I was on autopilot, mastery is better than dabbling. And then I had an aha moment myself. I realized that she had been doing mastery and high performance for years, and it was making her miserable. When she told me about her new ideas, she lit up. She was excited, motivated, and hopeful. And so I changed the direction of our coaching and encouraged her to dabble more. This sparked in me an aha moment. I also needed to dabble. And I found peace, joy, and relief from stress in kayaking and nature photography, those two often at the same time, and hiking and gardening, both of which I'm still pretty terrible at. Before we go any further, I would love to share with you my definition of dabbling. Dabbling is the art of exploring new interests and trying new things and allowing yourself to be a beginner again with no expectation of the results or pressure to perform. Go out and try new activities, new hobbies with curiosity and an open mind just for fun. Accept that you will be a beginner again and at best mediocre and most likely pretty terrible at first, but that's okay. Because the things you have now mastered, you once struggled with, and you learned more from your failures than from your successes. Did you know dabbling is good for your brain? The human brain loves novelty and learning new things until the day we die, unless we develop dementia. When you dabble, you form new neural pathways, and this improves cognitive function and decreases cognitive decline. When you dabble, you activate multiple regions of the brain and millions of neural pathways. In addition, dabbling stimulates the release of a powerful cocktail of neurochemicals, including two you've likely heard of, dopamine and serotonin. This decreases stress, increases arousal and attention in the brain. It improves memory, motivation, and mood. It also improves flexible thinking and creativity. And there is a wonderful ripple effect in your relationships and your physical and mental health. And it can also improve performance in the things you have already mastered. There is another not so scientific benefit to dabbling. You may discover hidden talents, like the artists Matisse and Frida Kahlo, who discovered an amazing talent for art while dabbling while recovering from serious illness. And Louis Armstrong, who discovered an incredible natural musical ability while dabbling, aged 11, in a juvenile detention center band. So today, I want to invite you to decrease your stress and learn to love your life again by embracing mediocrity, by trying new things, new hobbies, new endeavors. So, if you're game, raise your right hand and say with me, I am a dabbler. Wonderful. Now go out into the world and dabble. Thank you.
Leonaura, amazing, amazing work. Brava. All right. I love your set. I love your frame. The wardrobe looks amazing. Every detail that you chose for this presentation works beautifully. At the very beginning, the slides are wonderful. They support your talk really, really well. I have a feeling that those images of nature are your photographs. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay. They're beautiful and they're a little confusing when it comes to what you're actually teaching in that moment, right? So I want you to think specifically the stag and obsession with achievement. I could sort of connect the dots, but not totally. So I love the images. They're gorgeous. They just kind of made me think more about what that was than what you were saying. So you never want to compete with your slides. The one at the very end with the sun, that was fine because it didn't take away from what you were teaching in that moment. And the other one that worked well was the monkey on the tree, because the dabbling, it looked, and it was about curiosity. That worked because it looked like there was something curious happening there. So be really mindful of why you're choosing what slides and when. I loved the childhood story at the beginning. It really brought us into the talk. And there was such a beautiful and masterful beat change in your performance when you moved from your childhood into talking about the next phase of moving into higher education and high performance. You had a complete shift in your performance, in the way you delivered, and that beat change happened. And then your intention behind how you delivered the content was beautiful. It was very different. So keep doing that sort of thing and really stay mindful and conscious that it was a really good choice. Also, it was a wonderful and very cheeky acknowledgement of levels of excellence, because you are going to get people to push back. So being able to acknowledge that in a cheeky way worked really, really well. Also, the case study that you delivered about your client and how you tried out dabbling with this person and realized, hey, it's working. I'm going to also do it for my own life. So that was a nice transition into how you became a dabbler. I also love when you brought in the science and the stats with dabbling and neuro pathways. Really, really great timing there. At the very end, be careful. At the very end of this particular delivery, something caught your eye and you were focused on us the whole time, and something caught your eye and then you came back. You didn't lose a beat, but something distracted you. So be very mindful when you're speaking in a virtual environment and there's things that can do that. Be mindful to not let that catch your eye. I also loved at the end that you invited us to take a vow to dabble, and I encourage you to not use so, comma. So if you're game, go right in. If you're game, raise your right hand and join me. Make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Amazing, amazing work. Brava. I'm proud of you. Thank you so much for tuning in to the virtual showcase speakers of the 2023 spring cohort. I would love to hear what you think about each of their talks. And if you desire to speak on my big stage, head on over to thebigtalkacademy.com and register today. Remember, your voice matters. Big love. Mwah.